Your Excellencies, members of Diplomatic Corps, governors, senators, members of parliament, CSS, PSS, members of independent institutions, members of the body of county speakers, and members of the county assemblies present, distinguished delegates, good afternoon. Amjambo. While seated here, three things I have observed, three things before I make my small statement. I know it is the final statement, so I'll keep it short. Listening to Senator Kajwang and the speaker from Nandi, I was persuaded that the young people of our nation have come of age, and that if there was any doubt in our minds as to the capacity we have in our county assemblies or in our young people, that doubt should be put to rest. I have also witnessed the competition between the various stands and the controversial results that were released. Because I had Kirinyaga County dispute the results. But because we are Democrats, there was no manenos, and that is as it should be. Let us respect the decision of the judges. And lastly, I had the petition by Kivoda Kibwana about a second-generation handshake, which was seconded by the Speaker of the Senate. And I thought it was a conspiracy to deny me the right of reply. Which is a principle of democracy. But, gentlemen, I have listened to you. But before I make my brief comments, I have been requested by the Speaker that the members of the Senate who are here were not recognized. Can I request on behalf of the Speaker, members of Senate, please, if you can stand up. Can we appreciate them? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me also ask members of the National Executive who are here from CSS, PSS, and all the other members of the national government, if they can stand up. Governor Paranya, you can see there are more than 40. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Let me also request members of our independent offices and constitutional commissions to stand up. I'm told, yes. Can we clap for them? Thank you very much, good people. Asanteni sana. And maybe I should, I think it's only MCAs from Kirinyaga that were recognized. Can we ask speakers and MCAs from the rest of the country to stand up so that we can appreciate them as well? Members of county assemblies, wonderful. Tuwapige makofi. Asanteni sana. This is the 6th year since the devolution train left the station on a one-way journey to an inclusive, just, equitable, and united Kenya. The journey we have traveled has provided us with opportunity to draw necessary lessons and accumulate sufficient experience to better manage our devolution project. The devolution program is young enough to be flexible to accommodate lessons learned, but old enough to expand the array of possibilities on harnessing its benefits. We are slowly but surely gathering a body of local expertise, knowledgeable leaders and technocrats on the workings of devolved governments, management of devolution challenges, and the balance required for intergovernmental relations. The success story, the success year on year of the management of successive devolution conferences is a clear testimony that we are getting better. The single most important principle of the 2010 Constitution is no doubt devolution. The success of our devolution project is printed all over the map of Kenya. Mandera, as has been said, the farthest and remotest part of Kenya, today has cesarean section baths being carried out, and the once dusty town roads are now paved. And so is the case for many other northern Kenya counties in Marsabit, Wajir, and Garissa. County governments have improved the health sector, where we now boast of over 11,000 health centers from 8,000 in 2012. Turkana County, for example, which had 4 doctors before devolution set in, now has 73, while the number in Mandera now stands at 38, up from 1. For the very first time since independence, an open heart surgery was performed in Mombasa and a brain surgery in Embu. Before devolution, these services were only possible in Nairobi and at a great expense. Overall, the number of doctors in our health facilities has increased from 870 in 2013 to 4,637 in 2017, while the number of nurses rose from 6,600 in 2013 to 25,590 last year. Community health workers now stand at 52,000 across the country. Makueni is successfully implementing a model of universal health program that is benefiting hundreds of thousands of people in that county. Uasin Gishu County has found an innovative program to expand opportunities for thousands of young people in TVETs to learn and access paid internship as an excellent starting point to managing youth unemployment. Narok and other counties have invested heavily in civil works equipment to construct, rehabilitate, and make county roads usable, benefiting thousands of farmers and other county entrepreneurs. Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, these successes in different aspects of devolved functions and in different counties confirm the devolution success story. To complement the efforts of county governments, the national government has embarked on an aggressive rollout of major trunk roads in the country to connect various counties. The construction of the 602-kilometer Eldoret-Kitale-Kapenguria-Nakadok road all the way to the border of South Sudan is now 20% done. This road links 5 counties. Part of the 704-kilometer Isiolo-Modogash-Wajir-Elwak-Ramo-Mandera road is under construction, while the remaining sections are under procurement. These will connect the expansive counties of Isiolo, Garissa, Wajir, and Mandera. The 530-kilometer Lamu-Garissa-Isiolo road is under procurement, while sections of the 200-kilometer Malindi-Mombasa-Lunga Road are under construction. The remaining sections will undergo dualling and will connect Kilifi, Mombasa, and Kwale all the way to Vanga in our Tanzania border. To reduce the pressure on ferry services between Mombasa and Kwale, the contract for the construction of the Mombasa Southern Bypass from Mwache to Dongo Kundu to Kibundani, complete with a 2.8-kilometer bridge, has now been awarded and construction will begin shortly. To eliminate huge traffic jams and to connect Nairobi, Kiambu, Murang'a, and Nyeri counties, preparations for the dualling of the 84-kilometer Thika Canal Marua Road is at an advanced stage. The 176-kilometer Isabania Kisii Ahero Road is well underway and will connect Migori, Kisii, Homa Bay, and Kisumu counties. The first ever construction of the 180-kilometer dual toll road from Nairobi, Nakuru to Mau Summit is in the final stages of procurement, while the Isiolo-Marala-Lokichar link is under discussion with development partners. This, ladies and gentlemen, is in addition to the thousands of kilometers of paved road under construction in all our counties. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, further in the spirit of Article 185 of the Constitution, urging the national and county governments to work in collaboration and consultation, we have collaborated in equipping the county hospitals, and together we are piloting on our universal health coverage program in the first 4 counties with an ultimate objective of a national rollout. The collaboration between the national and county governments is now seamless, productive, and beneficial. An area that I seek to point out of the Big Four agenda that offers tremendous potential for transformative collaboration between national and county governments is found in the housing pillar. The development framework, guidelines, and regulations that will govern the housing fund, recently approved by Cabinet, is before Parliament. It is noteworthy that county governments are also laying ground to embark on this program. 24 counties have already signed MOUs with the national government on delivery of affordable housing, while 5 of these counties have actually identified land on which the housing units will be developed and are in the process of alienating the same in preparation for the rollout. Kakamega County is a case in point. We have received an overwhelming response from strategic partners, including developers, financiers, contractors, and investors. Preliminary assessment indicate that applicants are able to commit up to 2.6 trillion to finance and construct over 1 million affordable housing, not just in Nairobi, but in all the other counties that are willing to partner with us in this effort. The affordable housing program has impact beyond delivering shelter. It has huge socio-economic benefits. This investment and activities will increase the GDP considerably and grow the construction sector by 14%. It is projected that it will create between 3 and 5 direct jobs and 8 indirect jobs per house constructed. This is another opportunity for national and county governments to excel in collaboration. I urge county governments to seize this opportunity, especially given that the national government has released 11.1 billion to counties for spatial planning, infrastructure improvement, and capacity building. There is great incentive for counties to scale up their capacity to implement this program by institutionalizing affordable housing, fast-tracking planning, and alienation of land, while strengthening public education and engaging the private sector. I look forward to reports of progress and success stories at the next Devolution Conference. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, the success in different counties and in different aspects of devolved functions, irrespective of size or population, is a clear demonstration that it is not the size of the county that counts, but the innovation, the creativity, and visionary leadership of county governments that matter. An American writer and humorist, Mark Twain, remarked, "It is not the size of the dog in the fight. It is the size of the fight in the dog that matters." Despite its size and modest population, Kirinyaga County has developed her own brand of coffee, which is ready to compete in the international market, complete with an outlet to be opened next month in New York. This will benefit the farmers of the county with better farm prices and enhance foreign exchange for Kenya. Despite its size, Laikipia County has, through innovation and technology, enrolled 62% of its residents, the highest in the country at the moment, under the NHIF program. Kwale has creatively rolled out the most comprehensive secondary and university bursary program, benefiting thousands of needy students in a county that had the highest school dropout rates in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the success and future of devolution, therefore, is not going to be determined by size or population, but rather by creative, innovative, and visionary leadership. The debate about size, groupings, and mergers is a treacherous anti-devolution narrative that is simplistic, retrogressive, and seeks to reverse the hard-earned gains of our reform endeavor. In fact, it is a sly attempt to sneak a selfish, self-preservationist agenda into the national conversation with the aim of derailing the country from the development trajectory. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, 4 days ago, the summit that brings together the leadership of the national and county governments was taken through the financial reality of the cost of government by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. Information available to the summit showed that 52% of revenue ends up in salaries and wages, while another close to 30% is gobbled up by recurrent expenditure, leaving less than 20% for our development initiatives. In the face of this harsh and stark reality, suggestions for the creation of other layers of government and bureaucracy is reckless. It is actually pedestrian and outrightly thoughtless. The only plausible discussion, in my very honest opinion, should be how to operationalize ward development funds as a way of entrenching devolution to the villages. The future of our great nation, just like the success of devolution, is going to be determined by creative, innovative, bold, and visionary leadership. Many of the Jubilee administration's achievements, from the standard gauge railway, the robust road network construction, electricity connection, the Tibet program, reform of NHIF, are a product of creative and innovative leadership. Through innovation, we reduce the cost of a kilometer of tarmac in our rural areas by more than 50%. Through creativity, we changed the electricity connection model and eliminated the high costs of connection. Visionary leadership enabled us to restructure our contribution to NHIF, tripling monthly contributions into our health program. With bold leadership, our transition rate from primary to secondary is now close to 100%. And for the first time, we have more young people joining technical training colleges than ever before. All this have been achieved with roughly the same resources that were available to other administrations before. Focused, determined leadership determines the most creative and innovative way of applying resources for maximum output. Like in healthcare, our theory of change is that prevention is better than cure. Transparency, thus, is the handmaiden of accountability. It is for this reason that we have committed to making government more open and accessible to the people of Kenya. Last year, for instance, His Excellency the President signed Executive Order Number 2 of 2018, directing all public service departments to actively release to the public information on procurement of public works and services so that Kenyans can know who owns the companies that are doing business with government. Over the last 3 years, my office has provided leadership to the Open Government Partnership Platform in Kenya, and I recently launched the third National Action Plan under this multi-stakeholder initiative that brings together national, county government departments, as well as private sector, academia, and civil society. I am grateful to the robust participation of Vihiga County, Makueni County, and Elgeyo-Marakwet counties in this partnership and urge all counties to join the platform. My hope is that counties will be the laboratories where true open governance leading to better service delivery is realized. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, wastage, mismanagement, and corruption limits, undermines, and ultimately destroys the proper and optimal use of resources. Appreciating this major threat, the Constitution provided for robust, independent, professional institutions to deal with this danger to our development. The government of Kenya, under our watch, has provided the human and the financial resources necessary for these institutions, the EACC, DCI, DPP, and our judiciary to function effectively and efficiently. The Constitution provides that these institutions are independent and professional. Article 249(1) states, and I quote, "The objects of the commissions and independent offices are to protect the sovereignty of the people, to secure observance by all state organs of democratic values and principles, and to promote constitutionalism. These commissions are subject to only this Constitution and the law, and are independent, and are not subject to direction or control by any person or authority." And in keeping with this constitutional dictate, while opening this conference, His Excellency the President asked all those who know anybody who has stolen or misappropriated public funds to, instead of shouting in funerals, fundraisings, or conferences, submit their petitions to these investigative institutions, either in Karura or Valley Road. And for the benefit of those who don't know, the officers of the DCI, on your way to Nairobi, are on the left at Karura. The biggest threat, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest threat to the war on corruption is selective prosecutions targeting predetermined individuals or projects. And secondly, rumor mongers, propagandists, and peddlers of half-truths, exaggerations, and distortions meant for media headlines to execute covert political schemes, which in and of itself constitute obstruction of justice. And let me say the following, because I have listened to my brothers who have spoken before me, and that I should be measured in what I say. But let me say that there is absolutely no issue with what is going on. We are a democracy. We believe in competition. And in fact, competition brings out the best in all of us. And therefore, nobody should be worried that I have a problem, for example, with the former Prime Minister. I have absolutely no problem. In fact, if there is one man who has supported his ambition in the past to be the president, it is me. I have supported him. So I have no problem. So I just want to maybe cool down the temperatures of Kibudha Kibwana and the Speaker. There is no issue. What we are having is a national discourse, and it is very healthy, so that Kenyans can be exposed to ideas. And we are all Democrats. We want good ideas to give way to better ideas, and better ideas to give way to the best ideas. That is the essence of democracy. I know yesterday, the former Prime Minister asked some legitimate questions about matters to do with dams and what my interest is in the dams, and why I know all the figures in these dams. It's a legitimate, I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's important. And you see, in my other life, when I was younger, I was a herds boy. And I first looked after sheep. Then I graduated, I looked after calves. Then I graduated and looked after cows. It was a cardinal expectation that if you're looking after cows or sheep or calves, you must account. You must know which cow is sick. And when you bring the cows home or the sheep home in the evening, you must know the number. So, in keeping with that old principle of my herds boy life, as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, yes, I have an interest in the construction of the dams, a major interest, because with Uhuru Kenyatta, we put 57 dams to be constructed over the next 5 years in the manifesto of the Jubilee Party. So it is not a parachute. The fact that we are discussing construction of dams is not an accident. And I have an interest. So anybody asking what is the interest? I have an interest. It is the manifesto of Jubilee, number one. Number two, apart from roads and electricity, the third largest enabler of our development proposal in our manifesto and in the Big Four is water. Whether you are looking at health, a major component of health challenges comes from water that is unfit for human consumption, people who consume dirty water with waterborne diseases and many of the other things. Therefore, the provision of clean drinking water is a major component that will cause us to succeed in our Big Four. And secondly, the matter of food security, a huge component of our target for the large dams we are focused on constructing is because of matters to do with irrigation. So I want to settle my interest in the construction of the dams in that manner. And of course, you cannot discuss dams in absolute. That is the reason why I follow numbers. And as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, I would be reckless and I would have failed in my job if I didn't pay attention to numbers. So the question that I am being asked is actually like a hyena asking a herdsman, what is your interest in your herd? And why do you know the number of the livestock you are keeping? Honestly, why wouldn't a herdsman have an interest in the herd he's keeping and the number? Number two, let me also say the following. Another issue that was raised, and you will forgive me, whoever is moderating, Bwana Speaker, you know, although you moderate debate, there is a principle called right of reply sometimes. And it's just a fair democratic principle. Now, there is also the whole mix of this man stole this, that man stole the other, and that kind of thing. Now, najua hii Kenya iko na maneno, and we are a very interesting people, because in the last election, you said your competitor stole the Eurobond. Now you are accusing the person you perceive to be your future competitor as stealing money from dams. And if you are asked, sasa mkubwa, hii evidence utapeleka Karura ama pale EACC, unasema hapana, mimi nilipigiwa, najua nyinyi ni wezi kwa sababu nilipigiwa simu na Baba Mtakatifu. I was called by the Pope. Really? Wewe ulipigiwa simu na Pope? Kweli? Ah, Kenya. It only happens in Kenya. Some of these propagandists are so notorious and brazenly incorrigible that sometimes they cannot even remember the last lie they told. This is the unfortunate and reckless politicization of the war on graft, and you, who are engaged in this charade, are the biggest single threat to the fight against corruption, and in fact, you are the ugly face of impunity. Non-political frauds, whose word means nothing, neither have the legitimacy nor integrity to lecture anyone on matters corruption or integrity, I dare say. I think let us leave it square like that. We must fight the war against corruption, yes. And we must fight it using the correct tools so that we can succeed, because that's the only chance we have to succeed in fighting the war against corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my very humble duty and pleasure, before I declare this gathering closed, maybe to make a recommendation, Mr. Chairman, that maybe after the next conference, maybe you can consider, for purposes of us having enough time to interrogate the success of devolution, maybe you can, after the next conference, maybe we can make the conferences biannually so that there is more time to accumulate more experience. But with those many remarks, it's now my very humble duty to declare this 6th Devolution Conference officially closed. Thank you very much.